Immediately into the beginning of Chapter 8, Fitzgerald uses Nick's need to warn Gatsby about something to foreshadow his impending doom later on in the chapter. He hurries next door to find a dejected Gatsby, disappointed at the fact that he never got to swoop in and save Daisy and take her away from Tom. Nick advises him to go away for fear that they'll trace his car, but he refuses because of the lingering hope that he might still win Daisy.
The scene then backtracks to a conversation Nick had with Gatsby about his feelings for Daisy and how he thought she was more valuable because she had been with so many other guys before. And he recalled being surprised that he was really in love with her, but he couldn't make her feel financially secure because he was still poor, and Daisy wanted her life shaped immediately by a force of love or money that was close at hand, and that force just happened to take shape of Tom Buchanan.
Returning to the present, Nick notices the sudden drop in temperature that took place overnight, which symbolizes the heat of the fight from the evening before is over. Gatsby's servant then comes out to inform Gatsby that his pool is to be drained. However, he rejects this idea because he wants to swim as if it were still summer, when his dream of Daisy was still alive. Before Nick goes to work, he tells Gatsby that Jordan and the Buchanans are a rotten crowd, meaning that he believes they are good people who have gone bad, and that Gatsby and himself are the only ones who have any moral standards at all.
Later on in the day, Nick is still worrying about Gatsby when Jordan decides to call, and immediately he noticed that her normally fresh voice had been replaced with something dry and harsh, and she tells Nick that she wasn't happy about the way he treated her the night before, which is stupid because Myrtle had just died and Nick was just trying to be a respectful person. However, she told him she wanted to see him anyway, but Nick really wasn't up to it because, well, he's tired and Myrtle just died and he's still worried about Gatsby, and so they have a really awkward phone conversation after that, and the moment they hang up is essentially they're breaking up because of the fact that Jordan is selfish and she's self-centered, while Nick actually cares about other people.
Further on in this chapter, the scene set up is that of George Wilson and McKellis, where George shows him a dog leash that Myrtle had bought. Just the sight of it sends George into fits of, "Oh my God," because he realizes that she has been cheating on him this whole time. George begins to stare out the window, saying, "I said, God knows what you've been doing. Everything you've been doing. You may fool me, but you can't fool God." McKellis realized that Wilson was actually looking out at the eyes of Dr. T.J. Eckelberg. Whether the eyes is seen as a God figure or not is not as important as the fact that they are used to represent the fact that no one can ever keep a secret forever, because someone is always watching. George then states that her secret lover must be the one who killed her, and he promises that he will find the owner of the yellow car.
So the end of Chapter 8 is used to show the destruction of Gatsby's dream, and therefore the American dream itself, which is the reigning theme of the novel. Laying in his pool, Gatsby begins to think what a grotesque thing a rose is, symbolizing the idea that things are only beautiful because that's how we see them to be. I mean, there's nothing inherently beautiful about a rose or excessive wealth, but because we've grown up being taught that our main goal in life should be to make a lot of money and have a big house, all these other trivial things, they're naturally more appealing to us. And so while he's thinking about all this, Nick is rushing to Gatsby's house because of some sort of premonition or fear, but he doesn't make it in time, and when he gets there, Wilson and Gatsby are already dead, and they were shot by Wilson, who assumed that Gatsby was Myrtle's lover because Tom told him that Gatsby was the owner of the yellow car. And when Gatsby realizes that his dream, which is Daisy, isn't what he imagined, it dies, and along with it, so does he.
I was in love with the place in my mind, in my